Okay, so you're gonna peek this with an op with no support. This is what I wanted you to do. Is I wanted you to set yourself up with a flash support. I don't mind you being aggressive here. That's fine. But get your Gecko to do something. You called for it, which is great. So this is like mindful thinking. This is critical thinking. This is the counter to autopiloting. Good.
I know. I just hit a shot.
Yeah. Oh, chill though. Because they full sent fade before up long. So. You just hit a shot, but you need to chill.
Neon's outside. Outside B.
Neon.
Out TP.
Yeah, I think they're B.
Jumped in.
They're not.
Back off. Okay.
Last level.
So that example right there, when you're saying back off, so you get the kill with the up, right? And then backing off would be, the next step is spawn.
Spawn.
And Hook is not smoked.
Spawn
and
is where you go. You go spawn and you put your scope in as you're backing up, basically.
So, okay, and then in that example, if we're spawn with the op, do I just hold hookah from spawn then?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And then
So what I'm getting is like op is like a get a kill, and then use the advantage of the kill to back up and reposition for maybe another kill.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Don't repeat the same angle over and over again. That's something that you're doing quite often. There are times if you have support or utility that you can ask to be reflashed in to peek something, but you didn't have that option. So it's like this. Your order of operations, if you go into valorant, is let's say you have the ideal scenario and you know they're rushing B. Okay, so let's say you have this ideal scenario where you have a Gecko with you, or you know, a Sky or something like that. You decide to peek out and you don't pop your dash and you get one kill. Soon after you have other people coming, but you get one kill. You decide to fall back and then you pop your dash and you re-peek. You get another kill. You say, ooh, I just saw the chamber as well. I want to peek this again. He tosses the Dizzy. Now the Dizzy goes out. He's going to shoot the Dizzy. You can re-peek for a third fight. What's happening right now is you're doing this, like the first two steps are fine, but then you re-peek for the third one and you get killed. That's an ideal scenario where you can peek the same angle 3 times. If you don't have that kind of support, you can't afford to do it. Jet has the flexibility of 2 peeks if they need to, but you could be back here once you miss your first shot, take that fight, then you come back here, take your third fight right here. If that doesn't work, you fall back to here. You hold this angle. You wait for the retake, and they come back in. Okay, that would be the way that I would play this against a rush. Hello, my name is Worthy, a professional Valorant coach. If you're looking to climb the ranks and improve your overall gameplay, you definitely want to leave a like and a sub. Also, if you comment your Discord name in the comment section below, once per month, I choose one lucky commenter to win a free one-on-one session. Best of luck and enjoy the video. Okay, so they're on eco. They're on eco, but you can see how this could have been a problem, right?
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay, so the issue that you have here is that you keep trying to hold the space. The way they like to think about it is they've purchased the space when you get a frag. Okay, they've purchased this map control. It cost them that life. So this is fine because you have your dash. So you can take another peek, but now it's like, okay, now you just fall off. It's 5v2. I would just go to the backside if you can. Try to go up to heaven maybe, and just give them space. Say you're falling back. Because now any fight that they want, especially against an eco, is closer range, so you're giving them close range fights by doing this. Okay, so I would say that with Jet, because of how you took the first fight, you have 2 kills, then fall back. Normal circumstances, if you're any other character, it's 1 kill, fall back. So they've purchased this space. You let them move into the site, you take another free fight once they try to go for the plant, and then you go for the retake. So greed has been a powerful enemy to you right now, looking for that next kill. These are all eco kills. Like this round's over, pretty much, right? They're gonna lose. The only thing you don't want to do is give up a free op. People talk a lot about how kills are important, and I do this in air quotes because they're not really that important. It's about proper impact frags versus non-impact frags. But anyways, a lot of people talk about that stuff. I think deaths are more important. The limiting of deaths are very, very important, right? Obviously, if you're going to be in a situation where you don't want to save your weapon, you need to die. But for the most part, if you can limit your deaths, that's economically more sound. Okay, you're peeking out with the dash time. The jump is way too risky. Jump is way too risky, even with your dash, okay?
I think that's a bit of a troll.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a terrible. I knew that too when I did it.
Okay, so you get the kill, so you know this area is a threat. You need to be able to shoot back, you're gonna repeat it. It's just that simple. This is not a sound play, and someone could have easily one-tapped you, and you wouldn't even be ready to pop your dash. Right? Don't do it. You're frustrated right now, I can see it. You're like, oh, let me do this again, and give them another opportunity to make this a 4v4. Right? You're like, I'm gonna see if I can correct this issue right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. So you're like, you should be dead. Good, good. I'm glad he got punished. Emotion is such a powerful thing, man. Emotion is such a powerful thing. You're like, you need to look back on the situation and say, you know what? It's a 5v4. I'm gonna cut my losses now. There's no need to take another fight here, right? When we get angry, we get frustrated, we get annoyed at ourselves, we make irrational decisions. We make irrational decisions that lead to round losses, right? You have nothing to prove. At the end of the day, let's say you kill this guy. Do you think this guy is going to remember you fragging him 10 years later?
Oh, no.
No, he doesn't give it, right? It's another round in his games, right? He's going to play another game afterwards. It's not a big deal. That's like, you're not trying, like, I feel like some players try to, like, impose their will on some people. This is like, you know what would impose their will? Beating them 13-1. Or in this case, 13-3. That would impose your will. But now you're running into a 1v3 situation started by your frag, your death. Had you been alive here, this whole round could have been completely different.
One's on this box.
Okay.
That was the terrible. Okay.
Well, I mean, we don't need to do it, right? You've popped dash super early over here, and in your mindset, you want to get value off this dash. That's what's causing this play. There's no need to do this at all, first of all. There's no need to pop this dash. Okay, so you're thinking to yourself, okay, I need to get value on this play. Look at the top of the screen. I can already see you're not looking at it. You are fixated right here. What does the top of the screen tell you?
They're not doing anything, they're stuck.
The top of the screen tells you it's a 4v2 situation. Do we need to take a fight in a 4v2 situation, or do we have to wait for them to try to plant and then move on?
We should wait, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no need for us to go for
So this is
any
a perfect example of autopiloting then, no?
I wouldn't even say it's autopiloting. I think it's just like, and don't take this the wrong way, but it's greed, right?
Yeah.
And greed is a very dangerous ally to have, right? There's numerous people I've called out Cryo, for example, for having greed. You know, in the same map, Cryo's pushing out with 1 minute left into the round to try to find 10s, to try to 1v1 him. Now, like, anyone can argue, it's like, oh, well, there was probably a call from, like, the IGL. It's like, no, he has an operator, he has long range, he has his TP right here, he decides to go out of his TP to try to challenge 10s for a 1v1. Like, it's just, like, that's greed. That's greed, that's ego, that's a whole bunch of things that hold a lot of players back, right? There's no need to be doing that kind of stuff. And that's all that is. Like, this is an overextend. Again, like, you know, you were blessed with a dash there. Now there's no one who can help you when you go in for the next one. You're committed to that fight because you're like, I want that so bad. And you can see that you're upset. You can see you're upset that I didn't get that. Damn it.
One more showers.
Once is enough. Don't stand here.
Yeah.
Once is enough. Don't stand here. He's going to swing you. He's looking for a kill right now. It's 5v3. Right? He didn't do it here, but very good chance he could have. He just pulled a knife out and facing him as well. Okay.
That was a perfect example of greed. I saw him up there and I pulled the knife out because I wanted to move there before he did.
It's also a protocol called the CAT protocol, which is something I love. It's something I learned early on in my career, and I was able to use it against players like you. When people see an opportunity for a frag, they often will chase it. They're like cats with lasers. If you shine a laser onto the wall, the cat chases after it regardless of its health and well-being. So you, my friend, I'm going to draw some whiskers on your face right now, are a cat. The protocol there, you can use it against players. Like, if you baited out your shoulder, for example, on a peek when they know where you're there, they will chase after you with your crosshair. That's when you can wide swing them. That's how that whole theory of Ferrari peeking works. It's literally pulling in and giving them psychologically what they want, so you can take what you need from them.
Can we go back to the point about, like, staying alive? I usually have the most deaths And from like just a short amount of gameplay, you would probably attribute that to me just being too greedy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Greedy in positioning. Like, it's just like, get a kill, fall back. Don't be afraid to give them space. The way I like to think about it, man, I'll just illustrate this really quick. This usually takes a while, but I'll go through it. When you're playing on defense, you're trying to be a tax man. That's all that matters. You're taxing the enemy team. And you tax them on essential resources. Lives, okay? You tax them on time, which is the biggest one. You tax them on util. You tax them on HP, okay? You tax them on space. Those are the big ones. They're trying to gain space to be able to attack the site. And the goal is to have them purchase. I drew this with the wrong one. You want to have them purchase the space with something, right? So oftentimes when I'm talking about playing a controller, I say place your smoke here. So that they have to earn this space, this territory, usually using util. So you want them dumping util for this, so that when they come into sight, they have less util. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
You want a smoke here, so that they have to contest with more time, so by the time they hit here, they have less time to hit it. Less time equals more stress. Okay? You want to contest for space, because again, it relates to time, and it also relates to the options of where they could go if you control a very powerful lane into one of the bomb sites. Okay? HP can make people not peek. They could slow them down. HP also costs money, because the next round, if they live, they have to rebuy their armor. Right? These are all things you think about. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you get a kill here on this particular angle, you could say to them, it cost you 1 life to control this area. Now I'm going to back off, and you can have this, but you're coming into the site with a 4v5. Okay? So you back off of this position, for example, and you fight over here, and you see someone, and then you get another kill. You're like, okay, you can now have this space, but it cost you 1 person. Now we're in a 5v3. Now I'm going to back off to here. Okay, this person comes in, boom, another kill. You can have this space and you can start planting, but now it's a 5v2. That's the mentality you want to have. So you get a kill, you're like, okay, they purchased that space, I'm going to back off now. That cost you a lot. So now you're in a 5v2 post plant, you're like, big happy right here, right? That's a winning condition for you, and you're still alive. Versus trying to re-peak this, like your cryo cells, okay? I keep taking shots at cryo cells, but like cryo cells will just repeat this over and over again and try to go for a fucking ace clip. Content does not rule in this game. Brains rule, okay? Brains fucking rule. Give them a little bit of space. So we have a visualization every round, and we want to think, is there going to be 2 on the site or 3 on the site? Based on your experience, we're probably seeing 2 on the site. We've even seen 1 and 4 before, but we're going to go with 2 and 3 because this is usually what we see, okay, in ranked. So usually 1 person plays here, usually 1 person plays in the showers, right? Someone plays towards here, maybe, for example. So now you have an idea in your head how long it will take for someone to rotate and be on flank in the worst case scenario, or the fastest scenario. You have a educated guess, right? How long will it take for someone to rotate through here? How long will it take for someone to hit the TP? How long will it take for someone to rotate all the way big over here? How long will it take for them to rotate all the way to CT? So now you have timings in your head, and you're running percentages based on the scenario. You're like, okay, this is where I think someone's going to peak in about 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, done. Right? The amount of times I've done this for like a Radiant player, I'm like, pre-fire this angle, 3, 2, 1, and then like they'll run into the shot. They shit their pants. It's funny, but like you do this for every map. You just think about this, and you have some relative idea of where you think they're going to be, and then you just run stats. You're like, I think they're going to be here in this situation. It's just numbers at the end of the day, and you could be wrong, but I'd rather you have that mental projection in your head, an educated guess, rather than not thinking about it at all, right? And just running in, because then you have no idea what's going on. Just take extreme ownership in all things, man. Instead of saying, you know, oh, I'm going to blame this thing, why don't we take a look at how we peak this? Why don't we be a little bit more curious? Why don't we ask ourselves, was this a necessary fight to take? Those are the things you need to look at. That's important. All right, so let's slow this down. You're moving and shooting. Shooting error. You missed your aim. Okay? If we break down this fight from step to step, there are 4 steps to a gunfight in order for it to be successful. Okay? Oh, that was a terrible 3. Let me try that again. 4 steps to a gunfight. Alright? And you want this order of operation every time. If you mix the order of operation, you miss shots. Okay? The first one is move. You move, and then when you see someone, you aim at them. And you don't stop moving until your aim is on their head. The next step, you stand still, and then you shoot. On this fight, let's see what happened. You move. You tried to aim, but you're not on them. You stand still and you shoot, so you're really close. So you needed to fix the first 2. So one of the drills that I give for people to be able to slow them down in these moments is the Miyagi method, right? You go into a deathmatch, you move around, and your goal is to stay alive as long as you possibly can when you see someone, and keep your aim on them the entire time. You don't have to worry about the next 2 steps. You just break down these 2 steps, then later on you can start adding in more. Okay, the next level of the Miyagi method is to embarrass them. You're going to move back and forth, make them miss over and over again, keep the aim on them. Once you've lived for about 2 seconds, you can now 1-tap them in the head. Okay, that's the next layer of this. So I would recommend those 2 things to slow you down a little bit more.
I know, okay, now I'm thinking of a giant issue I have. There's sometimes I'll position myself in a way where I will swing into
Multiple.
3 people, and then it's like, it's not even like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like I freeze, but I'm just like panic, I guess is the best way to describe it. I panic, and I can't hit anything. How do you avoid the panic in those moments and just go, shit, I need to hit one of these guys at least? And not just like, it's like a decision-making thing.
There's specific scenarios. In terms of the actual tech, going into a practice range, playing a sage, putting up a wall, and then peeking individual targets will start training you for more productive peaks. That's the first thing. The mental as well is you need to run the scenario in your head. If you're running into sight with 5 people and you have a whole bunch of people backing you up, you have the mentality that someone is going to support you on this first fight, right? And you are going to get value, whether it be a life or a death. This is an important mentality to have because it will slow you down and guarantee that you're going to take your time to hit 1 shot. That's all that matters, right? Because if you end up dying, someone will pick you up. And the other important thing about trading, for example, is if you are in a state of rushing and your teammate dies and then you rush your shot, you now create an opportunity for a multi-frag. See, like this moment here, for example, you had 2 people peeking. You need to be completely relaxed because KJ's relying on you to get that frag and you're relying on KJ to refrag the neon if you die. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Another mentality to have if you're on eco, there is no risk. All I want you to do is shoot them in the toe once and you still get value because every shot that you hit is $1,000 off of their full team economy because they now have to rebuy their armor, right? So there's always value. So slowing down those particular moments is very important. There's mentals for every single scenario that you can like adapt and practice, but those are the easy ones that you can start working on and applying right away. 5v4 situation, looks like it's going to be a wrap at this point. Just remember, when they're down numbers, they're going to make crazy plays like this. Okay?
Yeah.
When they're down numbers, we should attack an extremity on either one of these sides. Take showers or take long. Avoid the center paths because they're going to look for crunches like this. It's like the movie 300. I had a TikTok on this one as well. If you funnel your superior numbers down a small crevice or passageway, you worry about getting funneled and attacked from multiple sides. That's exactly what they did here. This was a really good play for them, considering the fact it's a 5v4 situation. They have to do something like this to get back into the round.